Hi, I'm Jervin Naidoo, political analyst at Oxford Economics Africa, and I'm joined by my colleague Louw as we discuss what political developments caught our eye this past week. In this week's video, we discuss stories in Ethiopia, Kenya, and South Africa. Starting us off in Ethiopia on March 12th, the Tigray People's Liberation Front asked Ethiopia's federal government for assistance after a faction within its party seized control of the strategic town of Adigrat in northern Tigray. This move raises concerns that the fragile peace established by the 2022 Pretoria Agreement could unravel. The TPLF is now fractured into two factions, one led by Gachagua Reda, more aligned with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government, while the other, led by Debretsion Gebremichael, is critical of the peace deal, especially over the integration of the TPLF into the Ethiopian army. Adding complexity to this issue is the role of Eritrea. Despite the Pretoria Agreement's mandate for Eritrean forces to withdraw from northern Tigray, multiple UN reports confirm that they remain. This has fueled anger in Debretsion's faction, which views Eritrea's presence as a continued threat to Tigray's sovereignty and autonomy. In Kenya, on March 9, 38 people were arrested after clashing with police in protest over President William Ruto's donation of $155,000 to a church. The protesters, frustrated with the high cost of living, accused Mr. Ruto of prioritizing political gain over addressing the country's economic struggles. Previously, the Catholic and Anglican churches had refused donations from Mr. Ruto, refusing to be used as political tools. While churches have traditionally maintained a neutral stance in Kenyan politics, Mr. Ruto's evangelical Christian background has seen him increasingly use religious donations to gain moral support. This has sparked concern that churches will be drawn into the political fray ahead of the 2027 election, especially in a country where conservative values still dominate public life. 2 days earlier, Mr. Ruto formalized his alliance with former rival Raila Odinga. This partnership will weaken Mr. Odinga's opposition coalition, leaving Kenya with no real strong opposition. While both leaders claim the alliance isn't about power sharing, it's an early sign of political maneuvering ahead of the 2027 election. Louw, what stories do you have for us?
Well, good news and bad news in South Africa. Good in that Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana delivered his postponed budget speech on Wednesday, March 12th. Bad in that the Government of National Unity's second largest party, the Democratic Alliance, said it would not support it. Mr. Godongwana tried to appease his GNU partners by rowing back on plans to hike VAT by 2 percentage points, hiking it by a 0.5 percentage point instead. But disagreements clearly run deeper as the GNU's senior members continue to spar in public. The DA simply refuses to co-sign on any tax hikes and says it wants a budget focused on growth and jobs. But the party is clearly looking for forced concessions and a comprehensive spending review. A sticking point remains a suite of bills that the DA opposes, that being the NHI Act, the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act, and the super-politicized Expropriation Act. Yesterday, Mineral Resources Minister Gwede Mantashe did not mince his words and showed why he's nicknamed the Tiger, accusing the DA of polarizing society and wanting to hold the budget hostage to counterpose these bills. But Mr. Steenhuisen left the door open, though, saying there was still time to talk and negotiate, referring of course to the fact that the money bills have now been sent to their respective committees for further deliberations. But there isn't a lot of time. The fiscal framework will be tabled on April 2nd, and that will be the first vote in the House. Without the DA, the GNU has 200 of the 400 seats in the National Assembly. And the DA and the ANC is starting to look around Parliament to see who they can approach to help them get the budget passed, in case the DA follows through on his threats to vote against its coalition partners. We'll have to leave it at that.
Thank you for joining Africa Insight this week. If you'd like more information on our products or services, please visit our website or socials.